Just another brother with another humble question. Just another brother with another humble question.
Welcome to A Brother with Questions. I am your host, B. Period. Thank you for joining me. We're in for some breaking news this evening. But before we get to that, please let me not forget to ask you to like, subscribe to the channel, share it with a friend, man. We are on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Castbox. Let somebody know what you are listening to. Tell them to go check out that crazy brother that has got all the questions. But let's jump right in, man. Ron DeSantis has announced that he is stepping away from the campaign trail. He is suspending his campaign for president. But let's take a look at a little bit of his speech here.
Greetings from Florida. The warmth of being home is a reminder why I've chosen public service. From joining the United States Navy and serving in Iraq to representing the people in the U.S. Congress and now serving as governor of Florida. And it reminds me why I decided to run for president, to fight for those who have been forgotten in this country. This is America's time for choosing. We can choose to allow a border invasion, or we can choose to stop it. We can choose reckless borrowing and spending, or we can choose to limit government and lower inflation. We can choose political indoctrination, or we can choose classical education. These choices are symptoms of the underlying struggle to ensure that constitutional government can endure and that Western civilization can survive. And we launched this campaign to bring accountability to government, regain sovereignty at our border, and restore sanity to our society. We cannot succeed as a country if we allow our nation to be invaded, our currency to be debased, our cities to crumble, and our kids to be indoctrinated. The DC elites who facilitated this mess do not care about you, and they do not work for you. They work for themselves. They seek to accumulate power at your expense to pursue an agenda that is harmful to the American people. Citizens do not serve politicians. It is the duty of politicians to serve you. Talk is cheap. Actions speak louder than words. Reversing the decline of this nation requires leadership that delivers big results for the people we are elected to serve. I have a record of leading with conviction, championing an agenda marked by bold colors, delivering on my promises, and defeating the people who are responsible for our nation's decline. That is the type of leadership we need for all of America. Now, over the past many months, Casey and I have traveled across the country to deliver a message of hope that decline is a choice and that we can, in fact, succeed again as a nation. Nobody worked harder, and we left it all out on the field. Now, following our second place finish in Iowa, we've prayed and deliberated on the way forward. If there was anything I could do to produce a favorable outcome, more campaign stops, more interviews, I would do it. But I can't ask our supporters to volunteer their time and donate their resources if we don't have a clear path to victory. Accordingly, I am today suspending my campaign. I'm proud to have delivered on 100% of my promises, and I will not stop now. It's clear to me that a majority of Republican primary voters want to give Donald Trump another chance.
All right, let's stop right there. So there it is, people. He is out of the campaign. And now we basically got a two-horse race. We've got Donald Trump and we've got Nikki Haley. Of course, anybody really paying attention to the polls knows her name is on the ballot, but it doesn't seem like there is a clear path to victory for her. But we shall see. We shall see. So one thing I will say about Ron DeSantis, because going into this thing, before we, emphatically knew that Donald Trump anyway was going to put his hat in the race again, at least before his announcement, we made some assumptions, but before his announcement, we, or at least for me, Ron DeSantis is my guy. I'm a Florida guy. I am a Florida guy. Voted for Ron twice. I really didn't have a problem with his first foray, first 4 years as governor. I think the second 4 years as governor has really gone to the wayside for me, only because he's really been focused in on his quote unquote woke agenda and his necessity to create laws that are specifically designed to basically stop fringe, because I don't think the majority of the state is supportive of a quote unquote woke agenda, as he describes it. But I think they have been creating laws purposely to thwart, let's say, 5% of the people in the state, where the 95% of them aren't even thinking about the things that they're creating laws for. 5% of them are. And as a result, as always, there's some casualties here and there that maybe weren't necessarily meant to get hit, but as things go, you get hit in the process. But then he even made some real big mistakes when he was trying to limit speech, especially related to Israel. And I'm like, come on, Ron, you're supposed to be the free speech Constitution guy. How you gonna create laws to prevent people from saying certain things? But so this second pass for me has been off a little bit off the rails from the first one. But I think as president, I think it was going to be hard. With Donald Trump running, I don't think anybody's going to beat Donald Trump. I think it is very clear that we're headed for Biden Trump 2, if you will. But it's if he's stuck to those core principles going into his presidential campaign, that core principle, limited government, trying to limit how much power the government has in the people's lives, limiting how much taxes people are getting, if making sure there's a thriving economy that will support businesses and the success of businesses. Had you stuck to those kind of core principles, those core kind of conservative ideas, I think you'd have been at least better off. But listening to some of the other comments, I saw that one of the challenges that he's having is campaign funds drying up a little bit. They say going into New Hampshire on Tuesday here coming up. It'll be tomorrow by the time you guys see this. But he is leading and going into third in New Hampshire. They don't expect him to win big in South Carolina. Of course, they expect Donald Trump to win in New Hampshire, Nikki Haley to come in second. They expect Donald Trump to win in South Carolina. They don't even expect him to be able to pull off a win in Florida, for that matter, over Donald Trump. So, he got out. Got out before he got embarrassed. I don't blame him. You might as well get out while at least it seems like you're choosing to, right? instead of waiting till it's like, I think you're wasting our money here, guy. But so kudos to him, man. And so, like I said, Nikki Haley is still in the race, but she's clearly the number 2. And we'll see how long she stays in. I'm curious to see how long she stays in this race before she ultimately bows out and allows Donald Trump to essentially claim most of these victories. Even if he loses 1 or 2, it certainly seems like he's going to have most of the victories in terms of these primaries. And like I said, we're headed for Biden Trump 2. And so, the question I kind of want to get, start going is, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? So we kind of know, right? We've seen the first 4 years of Donald Trump. And there was certainly, we know in terms of his mouth, we know it's going to get wild. We're only at the beginning of this process, and it's already been exactly what we expected it to be. We know who Joe Biden is. He is the old man in the building. He seems, he's not quite Mitch McConnell, because I know y'all seen Mitch McConnell, but he seems to just be a step above Mitch McConnell. And, we're looking at basically, once again, it's the battle of the old guy in the room. And I mean that not so much because of his age, but the fact that he's been in government for 40 years. And we got the newcomer in the building who is the gunslinger who will say and do whatever he needs to do to get back into that office. Because I know the big knock that as a black man I'm supposed to see with Donald Trump is that he's a racist, but I don't see racism. I see opportunism. And I see a guy who realizes there's a group of people where I don't have to wholly embrace their ideology, but I cannot denounce them and they'll still love me. And so, he's doing what he's got to do to get in office. It may not be what I would do, but I get it. All these guys are out to get power back. Whether you're Donald Trump, whether you were Ron DeSantis, Nikki Haley, Joe Biden, everybody's trying to get in power. And it is what it is. every senator, every congressman, it's all about power. Everybody's positioning themselves for the most part. You know, there might be one or two in there that are truly in it for the people, but most of them, I believe, anyway. This is me, Democrat, Republican, Independent. You're out. You're running for office to gain and manipulate power to some extent. And whether that's power for you while you're in office, or if that's power for you when you get out of office, you're in it to manipulate power. And if you don't believe that, look at the bank accounts. All the top Republicans, all the top Democrats' bank accounts since they've been in office have quadrupled, have not even quadrupled. They are 500, some of them 1,000, some of them 10,000% bigger than when they went into office. So miss me with they don't want power. But I'm looking forward to the battle. I'm looking forward to see the conversation and see what it is that people are going to be looking for each of these gentlemen to say or do in order to obtain their votes. I pretty much believe that we're not going to see anything new under the sun, which is part of my disappointment because I'm ready for some fresh. I'm ready for some new blood. I'm ready to see some people begin to run for president, run for state senate, run for national senate, if you will, the feds. I'm ready just for new blood. And so from that perspective, I'm a little disappointed in the fact that we're probably going to see Biden jump too. But hey, man, the people have spoken. The people say they want it. And so that's where we are. And so share with me, whether you're a Joe Biden fan, whether you're a Donald Trump fan, share with me. Share with me. Share with me why your guy is the best. I want to hear from the people. If y'all share with me, I'm gonna come back, listen to some of y'all comments and comment on them. Comment about what I think. But share with me why your guy is the best. Donald Trump, Joe Biden. I'm here to listen. Why is your guy the best choice for president come November 2024? But that's where we're at. Ron's out. This is clearly Donald Trump's race to lose, if you will, because he's certainly going to win. So it'd be a big surprise to see if he lost. But Ron's out. He's, of course, thrown his support towards Donald Trump, as they all have. Vivek has done that. Tim Scott has done that. So they're all coming out. Everybody sees the writing on the wall, and everybody's jumping on board to back the horse. Nikki, it was fun, but I'm sure you'll be bowing out too and throwing your support behind Donald Trump. So that's my comments for today, man. Ron's out. He's gone. My guy. That was my first guy. Vivek is my guy now, but Ron was my first guy. He's gone. He's out. Donald Trump is definitely about to win this thing, and we're about to see Biden Trump too. I'm out, man. Be period.